No matter what age you are, what gender you are, and what identity you belong to, it is often considered that books are hard. There's plenty of reasons why this is the case, mainly over the fact that books take tons of time, effort, and energy out of you to get done, write, and publish. It becomes stressful to the point where many writers often don't choose the path of writing, and therefore they go in different paths and different directions. While that may be great in the life you are willing to choose, let me offer you a different solution. If you don't know me, my name is Arnel Arcega. I'm one of the healthiest authors and writers on this platform. As such, I educate people on how to read and write so that they can not only improve their language and literature, but also become better and stronger writers in the long run. If you want personal help, then check out my Instagram down the link in the description, as well as my books down there as well. For now, I want to discuss my own journey as an author, what it took for me in the past 2 years to become the writer you see now, and why you should write your own book this coming year, no matter who you are and where you come from. Escapism is a term thrown around whenever I hear about fictional stories, often associated with those fantasy elements like Harry Potter or The Lord of the Rings. These elements allow us to fuel our inner child. When we read a book like a notebook here, we are immersed in the words we are reading, or we take in information that we never thought were possible, both for fiction and non-fiction books. These two mediums are important because they can give us a lot of insight in many different areas. Case in point, some of my favorite books I read last year were Jurassic Park, as well as a book called Writing Tools by Roy Peter Clark. These stories allow us to not only gain more knowledge in the areas we want, but also give us stories that entertain us, make us feel better, and view the world in a more immersive and genuine result. As we often see every single day when we scroll on social media, there's a problem going on with the world, whether it's the fact that people can't get jobs, the world's on fire, relationships are bad, and so on. There are so many problems that I often see people complain, whine, and to be perfectly blunt, bitch about it. It makes me sad because I firmly believe books are one of the most powerful things that will allow us to heal, be safer in the world around us. But we often ignore it because of how tedious it can be. And you're not alone in that fact because I've been in that situation too. However, over the course of 2026, I plan to not only write more, but read more, and to consume books as well as write your own stories that will guarantee success in so many different ways that you can't even imagine what it feels like. I know from experience, having written 3 books, that the power of writing something that not only addresses a problem I have with modern society, but explain it in a creative and powerful way, changes lives in more ways than one. It takes a dedicated reader to be able to enjoy these crafts, but it also takes a dedicated author to talk and write about it. And I assume you are the type of person who loves to write. You love writing about characters, you love writing about those fantasy elements that takes away from our world, or you like educating people on a craft you personally know, whether that be a Rubik's Cubes or topics that people don't think about, like cooking. This is what makes books so important nowadays. And in the case of writing, writing is the inverse of book in a more tactful and effective way. When we write, we are often writing about ideas. We write a sentence, then a paragraph, and then so on. When I say write, I don't literally mean writing a book with a pen and paper. Sometimes that may be the case, but with our modern society, use the things we have now. Type it away in a Google Doc. Write the thoughts down in a notebook. But if you're willing to write a full-on story, a full-on book, like the books you see behind me, then use modern things such as laptops, phones, and computers. It's all about how you write. It doesn't matter about the logistics, but it's about what you write about. And writing, especially about those problems without having to complain and procrastinate it, that's what makes storytelling effective. We can tell stories in different kinds of mediums, tell it in creative ways. You can tell any and all kinds of stories that interest you. You have to think about what things interest you in the first place, whether that's love, actions, comic books, funny stuff, and so on. Think about the type of writing that makes you interested. And when you do that, as a dedicated author is pulling a dedicated reader, you too have to be able to be dedicated at the craft you are making. When we think about these things, we often come up with stronger ideas, more creative flows and minds. Before I recorded this video, I was coming up with the ideas for my 4th novel, revolving around zombies and a punk rock band in the 2000s. There's a lot of ways I can approach this, but one of the most notable ones for me is taking in music of that era, see what worked about that time, and research about how zombies work, how military can get involved in these kinds of zombie stories, and use it to the best of my ability to tell the best story I can. Writing matters because we want more genuine craft. You see the AI, you see the social media. Nothing is real nowadays, and if more people complain about that, then who's going to step up and write about it? That's what my job is. And the best way to get better at writing is to be more consistent. Consistency comes at doing the same thing over and over every day. It may get tedious, boring, and redundant, but as I said with books, they take out so much energy out of you, yet give you so much back. When we don't read and when we don't write, we end up in a drought. It's hard to get back on that pedestal once again because you are taking time out of your way to ignore those things. When you start writing and just start doing it in a small dose, let's say 10 minutes every day, start with a journal and write a sentence. From there, you can be more consistent at adding more ideas. Whenever I journal about something, about my days, about people, more and more ideas come in the form of a book. I want to tell these stories from these experiences that I've had. Or I want to tackle a world that's never been seen or experienced before. To be consistent is to be able to enjoy what you're working at. Dedicated authors pull in dedicated readers. If we are more consistent at our craft, therefore we make the best kinds of stories. Now, this may be a challenge for those uneducated. You'd be like, how do we even start writing a book? Maybe it's just about writing notes. What do you want to tell this story about? Think about the theme, the characters, the setting, and so on. These many exposition areas we were taught as children, that is what our book should be centered around. I'm not telling you something new or innovative, but what I am telling you is how to get started on this craft. With it being the start of the year, 2026 is a perfect opportunity to improve and grow in more ways than one. And what helped me improve the most from my own 2-year experience of writing is making sure I get to it every single day. My second novel, Artist v Critic, which you can check out in the link in the description, was a book I've written in a very weird period of my life. I was huge into writing. I kickstarted this YouTube channel. I was steadfast and strong about what I was saying. However, as I entered the editing process of Artist v Critic, I knew for a fact that there wasn't much work being done. I was being lazy and I didn't get what I wanted out of it. That's often the case with editing, but for writing, there's a difference. We write for the sake of writing. We want to tell a good, genuine story. And even if you don't know what you're doing, even if you are struggling on how to begin writing, think about your own favorite mediums once again. Think about your favorite books. Think about your favorite comic books, movies, and so on. How do they immerse an audience? You can take in all these different inspirations. Even someone like me. I may not be the core catalyst of that case, but you can do what it takes to be a stronger and more dedicated author by simply looking into your craft. Become more credible in what you are writing. And when we let go of this feeling and this energy that it's too hard, writing becomes easy. It's so complicated, as many things are, and there's so many layers. But complex does not equal good. And if we don't go for the good, easy routes, then we'll never get to the complicated one. We have to start simple. That can even begin in the case of a journal here. Start writing those ideas. It may not be perfect, it may not be one you'll stick to, but think about the book you want to write. It is so fun to write a story that not only challenges your own beliefs, but allows you to talk about the problems of the world. And when you do that, share it out to one person. Often I would say me, but you can share it out to family, friends, and other people in mind. Help what improves you, and do what it takes to become a dedicated author. Books in 2026 are dying, and we need more authors and writers around to witness it. I want to be able to help this change, be innovative in what I'm saying. And if I'm willing to help you out in your own stories, then I guarantee you will want to become an author no matter who you are. It's not about writing to get brownie points or bragging about how well you've written. It's about writing for the sake of writing. And if you're not going to do that, then I don't want you here. I want you to write because you want to write. I want you to tell a story you genuinely find interesting. And if all roads don't work, the biggest thing that helped me was to sit down alone with my thoughts and enjoy literature. Enjoy why I want to write a book. And think hard for a long period of time why you should write this book. That is what we want. Genuine, real content and not the AI one. If you're willing to think of that, then start picking up the pen, type away your thoughts, and begin writing. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want a more in-depth explanation to many of these areas of writing, whether that's the planning, the characters, and so on, check out my author's guide up in the playlist above. Along with that, check out my own Instagram for your own personal help. If you want to support me and help me become a stronger content creator, just click that subscribe button and check out my books down in the link in the description. I am Arnel Arcega, and until next time, keep on reading, keep on writing, and take care.